The soul, in many religions and beliefs, is deemed eternal, proceeding on an onward journey after death or a lifetime. Scientifically, consciousness is energy that does not die. This implies that the essential part of man, being the consciousness in the soul, is a pilgrim on a journey of evolution to attaining its highest possible state of enlightenment. This opens up the realities of reincarnation, where a soul revisits the earthly realm to learn further lessons to become more refined unto their eternal godly purpose. Reincarnation is the doctrinal belief that after death, the soul, or a core essence of consciousness, returns in a new body or life form. The idea is that the self is not confined to one single existence, but undergoes a cycle of births, deaths, and rebirths, known in Sanskrit as samsara. This idea exists across many spiritual and philosophical traditions, most notably in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, certain branches of Gnosticism, and some esoteric or mystical Western philosophies. At its core, reincarnation implies that the soul is eternal and that physical life is a temporary stage in a much longer journey. The four main blocks of the concept of reincarnation include the concept that the soul or essence is indestructible, the subtle core of man, often called Atman or higher self, that survives bodily death. The next is the concept of multiple lives, suggesting that the soul inhabits different physical bodies across time, often with no conscious memory of the previous ones. The next, and quite the most popular of them all, is karmic law. This concept indicates that the moral and energetic consequences of actions in one life can affect present and future lives. Lastly, there is the concept of progression and liberation. It expounds that the cycle of incarnations is not random, it's part of a cosmic or spiritual evolutionary process aiming at liberation, perfection, or divine union. One may ask, what role does reincarnation play in the grand cosmic scheme? Reincarnation ensures that life becomes a school for the soul, not a meaningless accident. Each incarnation is a classroom tailored to what the soul needs to learn. This understanding that the life of a person is not some random accident holds that person accountable in how they go about their life in each lifetime regarding actions and inactions. Often when people take the stance that life is short and that beyond a lifetime there is nothing left, it influences a fast life lived irresponsibly or carelessly. An understanding of reincarnation makes the twists and turns of life more meaningful, knowing that the struggles of one lifetime could contribute to the evolution of a soul into a more enlightened and strengthened state for future lifetimes. Even though most religions subscribe to the concept of reincarnation, their views on the details of the concept differ. In the Bible, the concept of reincarnation is explicitly expounded, even though most Christian sects do not accept it. There is an interesting case with John the Baptist in the Bible. In John chapter 1, verse 21, he was asked if he was Elijah after confessing freely that he was not the Messiah. This question came from Jewish leaders who were no mere or ignorant men. They were custodians of the law and knew the book of the prophets enough to know that Elijah was dead and gone. Why expect Elijah to show up again before the Messiah comes if they did not subscribe to the realities of the concept of reincarnation? It gets even more interesting in Jesus' description of John the Baptist in Matthew 11, verses 11 to 14. It says, "Truly I tell you, among those born of women there has not risen anyone greater than John the Baptist. Yet whoever is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven has been subjected to violence, and violent people have been raiding it. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you are willing to accept it, he is the Elijah who was to come." Jesus emphatically calls John the Baptist the Elijah who was to come, an explicit veneration of the concept of reincarnation. He knew there were untrained ears in his listeners, so he cautioned, "And if you're willing to accept it." In verse 15 he said, "Whoever has ears, let them hear." In Luke chapter 1, when the angel of the Lord appeared to Zechariah to deliver the prophecy of the birth and life of John the Baptist, the angel Gabriel said in verse 17, "And he will go on before the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the parents to their children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the righteous, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord." This prophecy is consistent with the prophecy in Malachi chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. It says, "See, I will send the prophet Elijah to you before that great and dreadful day of the Lord comes. He will turn the hearts of the parents to their children and the hearts of the children to their parents, or else I will come and strike the land with total destruction." This prophecy in Malachi also confirms the reincarnation of the essence or soul of Elijah. That phrase, "in the spirit and power of Elijah," in Angel Gabriel's prophecy expounds reincarnation even deeper. That the essence or soul of a man who has lived a past lifetime can come into another lifetime in a different physical form to execute the work of that soul. In John chapter 1, when John the Baptist was asked if he was Elijah, he said no. However, he went on to admit a prophecy of the old prophet Isaiah that he is the messenger sent ahead of the coming of the Lord and Messiah. This emphatically exposes the truth that even though John the Baptist told his hearers he is not the same man in bodily form as Elijah, he carried the reincarnated essence or soul of Elijah. In Hinduism, the soul, Atman, is eternal and passes through cycles of rebirth, samsara, until it achieves moksha, liberation from the cycle. Dharma, duty, karma, action and devotion, bhakti, all influence the soul's journey. Buddhism rejects the concept of a permanent soul, but accepts rebirth as a continuity of consciousness. Ultimate enlightenment, nirvana, ends the cycle. Within that cycle, karma and intention are key drivers of rebirth. In Jainism, it is believed that reincarnation is caused by karma that sticks to the soul like a residue. Liberation, moksha, is achieved by strict ethical living and detachment. In Western esotericism and Hermeticism, it is believed that the soul reincarnates to experience polarity, grow in wisdom, and eventually remember its divine origin. In traditions like Theosophy and Anthroposophy, reincarnation is central to spiritual evolution. Many Native American, African, and Aboriginal traditions believe in the return of ancestors through reincarnation, often within family lines or tribal communities. Despite not remembering past lives consciously, reincarnation implies that core aspects of our identity are shaped by them. This can be evident in certain real-life phenomena, such as a person having fears and phobias without known causes. In some cases, genius traits or talents will appear very early in the life of a person in a manner that beats logic or the norm. Others will experience a lot of déjà vu moments or feel a strong sense of connection to certain places, people, or time periods. Lastly, recurring patterns in relationships or life lessons can also be indicative of past life experiences transcending into a present lifetime. Carl Jung touched on this idea with his theory of the collective unconscious and archetypes, which could be interpreted as echoes from past existences. In the bigger picture, reincarnation is for the mastery of self and full realization of the soul's potential. Some other traditions and beliefs are of the opinion that it culminates in the liberation from the cycle of rebirths, for the purpose of a union with God or the divine mind, or to become of service to others as a bodhisattva or enlightened being. Through the integration of all life experiences into wholeness, the soul becomes its true archetype. Reincarnation isn't a recycling of bodies, it's about the long, sacred unfolding of a soul's destiny. It gives context to pain, meaning to progress, and time to complete the great work appointed to each soul. Through the twists and turns of the lifetimes between death and rebirth cycles, the soul evolves. This evolution is a transmutational process akin to turning base metals into gold. In this context, the base metal is the unrefined human condition, and gold is the perfected, awakened, or enlightened soul. This concept is termed as the alchemic evolution of the soul. Each lifetime is seen as a crucible or alchemical vessel where the soul is subjected to experiences, joy, suffering, failure, love, betrayal, which act as the elements in a grand transformation. With each incarnation, the soul gathers lessons, purifies attachments, dissolves illusions, ego, and gains wisdom. In many reincarnational belief systems, especially in Eastern traditions, karma is the principle of cause and effect, a cosmic law that governs the consequences of actions. In alchemical analogy, karma is the fire that heats the crucible. Each action in one life influences the conditions of the next, offering the soul opportunities to resolve, refine, and evolve. The purpose of the soul can be seen as its telos, a Greek word meaning end or goal. For alchemical evolution, that purpose is often enlightenment, unity with the divine, or the realization of the true self. Atman in Hinduism, Buddha nature in Buddhism, the philosopher's stone in Western alchemy. Reincarnation, then, is not aimless repetition, but a means of iterative refinement, guiding the soul toward its purpose through layered lifetimes. In alchemy, the magnum opus is the great spiritual work of transforming the self. Reincarnation is part of this vast operation, allowing the soul multiple lifetimes to experience polarity, light and darkness, power and humility, joy and pain, integrate shadows, develop compassion and higher awareness, and achieve gnosis or self-realization. Each incarnation is a stage: nigredo, blackening, dissolution; albedo, purification; citrinitas, awakening; and rubedo, completion, all along the path to wholeness. This puts the two concepts into perspective, where reincarnation fuels the alchemic evolution of the soul. Each lifetime is a stage in a grand spiritual experiment where the soul descends into form, physical matter, to learn and ascends again through purification. Through alchemy, the prima materia, or raw self, is refined through trial and transmutation, suffering, insight, love, humility. Over lifetimes, the soul synthesizes all elements into the philosopher's stone, symbolic of divine wholeness, immortality, and conscious mastery of life and death. Each lifetime has a destined theme, all contributing to the alchemic work. The destiny of one lifetime, with respect to actions or inactions therein on the part of a soul, can influence the destiny in a future lifetime toward the grand goal, magnum opus, in the alchemic evolutionary framework of that particular soul. Are you lost in the pains and trials of your present life, wondering why it must be you, or unto what purpose are you suffering those? Do you find yourself in repetitive cycles of life lessons, especially in your relationships with others? Do you get vivid dreams of a connected life or realms where you experience interactions that are very parallel to your current life? Are your dream and visionary encounters often featuring ancestors you may have heard of but are not known to you in this current life, playing roles to you? Do you get a lot of déjà vu moments? Do you feel an undeniably strong connection to certain people and places in your current lifetime? All these heavy indicators your soul picks up in a current lifetime are not coincidental. It is to evidence the reality that you are a pilgrim on a journey to fulfilling a great work of your soul, with each lifetime being an opportunity to get better refined toward your soul's true purpose. In summary, reincarnation in the alchemical framework is the soul's journey through many lifetimes, as it undergoes transmutation from raw, unconscious essence to an enlightened, divine being. Each lifetime refines the soul's elements, burns away dross, illusion, ego, and brings it closer to its purpose, conscious union with the divine source and fulfillment of its unique archetypal expression. Take a closer look at Jesus. He came into a lifetime, descending into a lower bodily form, full of many sufferings, refining himself unto his godly purpose of being the Savior of the world, and ascending unto a more enlightened state of divinity and union with God. The Bible in Acts 1 verse 10 and 11 explicitly states that this same Jesus shall return into the earthly realm. It says, "And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven." Revelation 19 verses 11 to 21 clearly states that in his second coming, Jesus will establish his universal rule as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. This speaks of the evolution of his essence unto his great work of turning over the kingdoms of this world to the Father, God, the Supreme Being. His second lifetime here in the earthly realm will be far from his life of many sufferings in his first lifetime. So should the experience of every soul be. That we progress through lifetimes, getting better and better refined unto the perfect great work of our soul's calling in divinity. Thank you for joining us on this journey of unraveling the realities of reincarnation and the alchemic evolution of the soul. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content if you found it insightful. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below and engage with our experts in astrology and life coaching for more personalized insights. Until next time, keep exploring the stars,